looking at kind of some preliminary estimates or ideas in front of this all-important June 30th crop report by the USDA. This is a significant report which has not only short-term but intermediate to long-term ramifications, particularly from a grain stock standpoint. We are very close now to the real critical time frame for yield determination in the Northern Hemisphere, but I want to make it quite clear that that yield determination is not only for the United States and Canada, but certainly in Europe, and probably just as important as the United States is what is or is not going on inside China. Before we start out with some ideas on the numbers themselves, I want to put a backdrop that we've noticed this extremely strong basis level in soybeans. We've seen the front month continue to gain on the back. That soybean market is certainly a market that's fully a demand pull market, where the market's trying to pull beans as aggressively as it can from tight-fisted producers, not only here in the United States, but as evident by the extremely strong FOB basis out of Brazil, out of the Southern Hemisphere also. This soybean market is obviously the market leader going into this particular report. It's had the continual strength that some of the other markets have not had. On paper, we recognize that because of the nearly 21 million metric ton drop in the size of the Southern Hemisphere crop, it's put the onus on the world market to try to source these beans as aggressively as it can out of the United States. And of course, this report's going to be quite important to the soybean stocks number. Again, I want to highlight that part of China is currently having some weather difficulties, particularly in east-central China, which is a key rice and corn area. They've had some 100-degree temperatures in there. They do expect that area to maybe start to get a little precip, but precip there over the next 7 to 10 days will be quite important as they approach a critical time frame for their crops. Now, going into this particular report, the average guess for corn stocks is about 4.190 billion. The soybean guess is around 586 million, but it's got a range of 559 to 620 million. And, of course, that's relatively significant under the backdrop of what these stocks could be come September, before the new crop beans really start to come in. So we know that the demand has been relatively good even at these high prices for soybeans. And again, as I mentioned earlier, soybeans is the complex leader. The wheat number, average guess on the grain stocks is 670 million. Of course, that's been a relatively consistent number. And the wheat market has been the follower market in the grain complex. Really, that number by itself is by itself somewhat of a neutral to negative number, but that wheat market has also benefited a little bit by the strength in the soy complex to a certain degree. Now, the acreage number, obviously, there's all kinds of opinions on that, and there are actually relatively wide divergence of opinions on just what this acreage thing is going to be come report time, but certainly the average guess now on corn is 84.158 million acres, but the range for corn is 82.47 to as high as 86, and that compares to the March 31st planting intentions report of 84.98. So again, a relatively wide range of opinions on corn acres going into the report. Soybeans, the average guess is 78.30 million acres, but here again, a very, very wide range with 75.30 on the low end and as high as 79.63 on the upper end, with compared to the March number of 76.02. But again, we still have customers at Bauer Trading trying to plant not only double crop beans, but we still actually have some customers in south central Indiana and Illinois trying to plant the first crop of soybeans due to the recent wetness that we've had in the eastern Corn Belt. And we want to highlight that the beans in the eastern Corn Belt are starting to look better, but certainly for this time of year, they're very, very small. I think based upon the weather forecast, this soybean crop is going to become under some scrutiny and some pressure from weather, most likely, in my opinion, in the August and September time frame where we're likely to see a larger and broader impact of the El Nino effect, which has currently been surging in effect. On spring wheat, we are looking for 13.10 million acres with a range of 12.82 and as high as 13.40. Durum at 2.400 million acres with a range of 2.3 to 2.5, and all wheat at 58.33 as an average guess with a range of 57.6 to as high as 58.80. So we'll see what the numbers are coming out of the report. Again, it's not what the numbers are, it's the reaction to the numbers over the next several days after the report numbers are released.